right, here we are live on the floor at REMI 2023 Metro Toronto Convention Center, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Earth. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Mike, and this is Industry Insights, a series featuring all kinds of amazing experts from throughout the real estate management industry, and today will be no exception. I'll recommend that you subscribe to the series wherever you're listening to it or watching it, right here on YouTube. If you'd like, you can hit the notification button. That's that little bell at the top. And we'll let you know every time a new show arrives into our YouTube channel. Meanwhile, on the floor at REMI 2023, an amazing lineup of great companies and services. One of them, a very interesting and poignant business. From the consulting side of things in the energy sector, Scott Rouse joins us. Scott, thanks so much for taking the time.
Mike. Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you as well. And for many reasons. One is that you are probably one of the go-to people when it comes to talking about what you can do to be more energy efficient, how the carbon footprint and the overall expense of running a condo or an apartment or any sort of building of that large nature, how you can save so much money and the environment in the process.
It's very exciting, Mike. I've never been more exciting as I've been before. And what's really driving it is environmental, social governance. You may have heard of ESG.
Yes.
And what's driving ESG is really the convergence of so many things. You mentioned energy efficiency.
Yes.
But there's also resilience. There's all these other things. And that's what the investment community wants to invest in, is properties that they know can be efficient, resilient, and stand the test of time. So it is very exciting.
So I was just going to ask you, so what side of the business do you get in? I'm going to buy a building. I hire you to assess the building. I'm going to sell a building. I hire you to give the good and bad news to me before I hit the market. How does that work for you?
Well, we're very flexible. Most of our business right now is on existing buildings that are operating, and they want to operate to a higher standard.
Okay.
So we would help them develop their greenhouse gas reduction strategy,
okay,
or implement energy efficiency measures. So we're really quite flexible. What we're really excited about is a new program that the province is releasing called Existing Building Commissioning.
Okay.
We just got approved to be a EBCX provider, Existing Building Commissioning provider, and that'll be released sometime this month.
And what does that position your company to do exactly?
It allows us to work with the organization, identify, well, there's 4 phases. So the first phase is planning. How do you get organized? How do you get the communication protocol established? What is your current facility requirements? What do you want the building to do? Not what it was designed for 30 years ago, but what is it needed to be done today? So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is investigation. This is where we work the hardest, and that's to identify where the opportunities are, what do they look like, how to quantify it, because there isn't a building owner or property manager that doesn't want to know what the payback is.
Right.
So
yeah. If I'm going to invest in new equipment, your services,
Exactly.
if I'm going to participate in the government programs, is it actually going to benefit me?
Exactly. And that's where we also include something called measurement and verification, M&V. And we want to make sure that when we implement a project, not only does it deliver the savings, but we can go back to the independent electricity system operator and prove that those savings were real.
Wow.
So, and then the third phase is implementation, actually doing it. It's one thing to say it, another thing to do it.
Right.
We have an expression where we say we have to listen with our eyes. We want to see what's happening, make sure it is delivering what we said it's going to deliver. And then the fourth one, I think you'll like this one the best. The fourth phase is persistence. After we leave, a year later, are the savings still there?
Right.
And so that's the fourth phase, is persistence.
So not only do you deliver me the idea, but you also provide the means for me to execute these changes within the company. And then after it's all said and done, we go back and see, you stand there with me and decide, did this really work? Are we on the right channel?
Exactly.
Well, that's a really effective way to handle this entire problem, because eventually it does become a problem. If you're not efficient enough,
right,
if you're not profitable enough, if your equipment is breaking down, or you don't have the efficiency and things like air quality or heat, and
right,
that affects your overall renters, the
Exactly.
saleability of your building.
Yeah, there's no point in being efficient if you've got an empty building.
Right.
So our first priority is obviously safety. That's number one. You never want to sacrifice that. Second is tenant comfort, to make sure tenants get what they want and is comfortable, because they're the ones in the space. The third one is equipment reliability. You want to make sure that you're not hurting equipment, turning things on and off,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. And then the fourth phase is actually energy efficiency. But you put them all together, they work together. And I think that's the important part. And if for environmental social governance to succeed, it has to deliver results. Investors are smart.
Right.
And if they don't see the results, they're not going to carry on.
Okay, so now at what point does a customer arrive on your doorstep?
Interesting. We just had somebody call us up. We get a lot of word of mouth. We do a good reputation, and so people are interested. They want to find solutions. They come to us. We give them our proposal on what we think we do, and then we go from there.
If people wanted to find out more about what you do, how would they reach out?
A number of ways. They can obviously Google Energy at Work, or they can LinkedIn Scott Rouse. We're open.
Oh, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to
It's been a
explain
real
how
pleasure,
this
Mike.
works.
Thank
Scott,
you.
have a
Take
great
care.
show.
All the best.